A good customer is looking for a process and a guide. That's ultimately what they're looking for, right? Our goal here is to serve that client, not just try to sell them. You see that here in my board in the back. Service in our heart, it changes the game.
Welcome to the Sales Made Simple podcast. This podcast is dedicated to helping overwhelmed outdoor living professionals, landscapers, and hardscapers just like you increase your closing rate to over 75% without doubling your workload so you can build a seven-figure business that doesn't need you. I'm your host, Joshua Gillow. Let's dig in.
How many times have you gone out to meet with a customer and spend all the time driving and preparing, talking to the customer, getting to know them, and find out that after you send them a proposal, they disappear. They're off, gone, with no explanation. Everything seemed good at the meeting. You were making good contact. You seemed like your personalities jived well. You could do what they wanted, what they needed, but something happened. Something tripped up the conversation and they disappeared. Has that happened to you before? I'm here to tell you that they didn't just ghost you, they chose somebody else. Happens a lot in this industry where contractors think they've got it in the bag and the next thing you know, they never hear back from the customer. And what is hard to grasp is the idea that after such a great meeting, we would have such a poor result. And we pour our heart and soul into these meetings, to these customers, knowing that we can provide what they're asking for. But ultimately, they choose other people. And today I'm here to talk about why that happens and how to fix it. So there's 3 reasons why you get ghosted. This is a very common thing in our industry, and it's something that I'd love to see put away forever, that hardworking men and women like yourself can go out and actually spend time with people that actually can say yes to you and want to move forward with your services and not just waste your time. So the first reason why you get ghosted is because you've overwhelmed them with way too much stuff. I know when I first started selling in this world, I would go and take my Techo Block catalog and I would drop it off on their table and say, look, lots of paver options, lots of wall options. Take a look through this. Pick out your favorite ones and we can build from there. And what I didn't realize at the time is that I was completely overwhelming them. They would look at that catalog and they'd say, wow, there's a lot of great choices, but I don't know which one I like. I don't know which one would be best for my project. I don't know which one would fit my lifestyle the best. I don't know which one fits my house the best. These are the questions that are running in the back of your customers' minds that they don't often communicate to you as the professional. So we think we're doing them justice by dropping that catalog off or by giving them all kinds of specs on exactly how we install our pavers or how we plant our plants or how we install our lighting or how we build our decks, whatever it might be. We give them all these specs because we believe the customer really wants to know those things and we're trying to build confidence. Unfortunately, you're scaring people. By giving them too much information too early in the sales cycle, you've put them in a position of freezing. They actually freeze. They don't know what to do. They're confused. They don't know what to do. They're talking to 2 other people most likely anyway. And truth be told, that the person, the company that gives them the most confidence, the most clarity, and the best service, meaning that they're help serve and guide the customer to the best choices, are typically the ones who win. It's not always lowest price, ladies and gentlemen. As much as we want to hear that and think it's always a price thing, and that's the evilness in the room, if you will, the lower price guy, that's not often what it is. Most of the time, this is a confidence problem. This is a overwhelming problem, meaning that when they're overwhelmed with choices, they don't make a choice. They will freeze. That's human nature. If given too many choices, a choice won't be made. So with that being the case, it's very important for you to realize it's one of the top reasons why you're getting ghosted is because you're overwhelming them with way too many things and putting them into a state of paralysis. So if that's you and you're listening and you're thinking, man, that's exactly what I do. Okay, I offer the option to simplify. And we'll talk more about that as we move forward. Next is lack of leadership when it comes to the sales conversation. Now you might be thinking, Josh, what are you talking about? Like when I'm out there talking to people, I'm the one talking most of the time. So I'm obviously leading this conversation. I'm the one telling them what they need based on what they told me. Like that's leadership. Unfortunately, it's not leadership. Some people can get away with that. Most salespeople don't. The ones that are most successful that I've seen and trained around the country are the ones that ask great questions and are the ones that are talking the least. the ones that can open up a client's true needs, wants, and desires, not necessarily just follow what they told them. So if a customer reaches out and says, look, I want a nice patio, a fire pit, and a seating wall for simplicity's sake here. And you say, no problem, I can do that. What paver? Pick your paver. I can make it any size you want. I'll put the wall up, and I'll even add some lighting underneath that wall. And what kind of fire pit? Do you want wood or gas? And that's what you ask them and move forward. And then you give them a quote for that. The other two people they meet, if they do the same thing, now you're in a bidding war, meaning that if you're not the lowest price, there's no discernible difference between what you're offering and what the other two are offering if it's all the same list of needs that the customer gives you. Here's my suggestion for you. If you really want to break out of that cycle of being the lowest, trying to be the race to the bottom, the lowest bidder, and winning a project and then losing money, the way to do that is to be the one that stands out that's different. The way they're going to choose you is by if you guide them. If you are the guide in the situation, you're not the one trying to tell them what they need. You're not just blatantly listening to what they're asking for, but you're taking what they say, what they ask for, and you're asking questions, probing questions in around that. We're going to get into that a lot deeper here in this program about what questions to ask and when in order to help the customer unlock the true emotional drivers of their entire project. Because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, people don't just want more pavers or more plants in their backyard. They don't want that. There's some deeper emotional driver that is creating an urge inside of them to spend their hard-earned money to build this space. We need to get to that point. We need to find out what the driving force is in this project so that we can focus on that and help them make sure that is the win at the end. But if we're not leading because we're just following whatever they say and jumping in on calls whenever they're available and finding that we think it's going to be the easiest way, a good customer is looking for a process and a guide. That's ultimately what they're looking for, right? Our goal here is to serve that client, not just try to sell them. You see that here, my board in the back. It's not just about trying to sell them. If we come in with a service in our heart and not just trying to figure out how to make them open their checkbook and give us a check, it changes the game. Leadership is about guiding the client to the best solution for them, the best outcome for them. And the way we do that is by asking the right questions. Again, we'll work deeper in that as we move forward. Next is no emotional connection. So you're just coming in as a landscaper, hardscaper, outdoor living pro, and you're like, look, whatever you want, I'll do it. I'm just here to do the work. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me if they like it or don't like it. I'm just here to collect my check. I know most of you out there watching this wouldn't admit that that was you. But deep down, if we're honest at times, we all feel that way. We all feel like, man, I just need to make payroll. I just have bills to pay. Like, why do we have to be so connected with our customers when all I really want to do is just build cool stuff? Why do I got to like emotions and connecting with people and relationships? It's not easy to do all the time. And how can we do it when we've got so many customers to work with? How can we remember names? How can we remember all these? Like, it seems daunting. But what I will tell you is that when you make that a priority, when you make relationships a priority and service your focus, what happens is your customers can start feeling stuff. They start feeling you. And do you think a customer is more likely to choose your company if they felt that you cared about their project versus it was just another one in the queue? It's huge. Emotional connection is very important, and it's not that hard, especially you gentlemen out there. It's not that hard to do this. It's really quite simple. I would consider myself an introvert most of my life, and relationships didn't come easy to me. But I'll tell you something, that once you learn how to meet with customers, ask good questions, and deeply care about what they are thinking about, what they're trying to achieve, changes the game. So I implore you to continue on this journey down this path. I've got a lot of great content in here for you guys to start unpacking ways to be able to serve your clients better so that you can get those premium rates and you can build those amazing projects that you've been dreaming about. So stick with me through this program, and I guarantee it's going to change the way you look at how you work with customers and how each project isn't just a means to an end, but actually a way to be able to serve and feel really good inside while you're doing it. So the top three are overwhelm. You're overwhelming your customers with way too much stuff, putting them to a state of paralysis, and they're looking to the next person for simplicity. And the first person that shows the simplicity and clarity builds confidence, they get the job. If that's you, it's time to simplify. Next, lack of leadership. You're going in there just listening to whatever they say. You're like, no problem, I can have it to you at this time, blah, 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 and not really guiding them in a way that could help unpack what they truly need, want, and desire, not necessarily what they think they need, want, and desire. We need to slow it down as professionals so that we can help them get there. Because when that's you and you're guiding them, how much more value do you think you bring to the table when they're thinking of the 3 people they met and they're like, wow, that one guy, that one girl, she really took her time. He really took his time to get to know what we really truly needed. Man, I'm willing to pay more for that. That's what customers think, ladies and gentlemen. We've been the most expensive in our market for the last 10 plus years. And this is the same system that we use in order to be able to sell premium in a market that's very saturated. The way we do that is by slowing it down, caring, and getting deep into the real drivers behind. We call it driving force. What the driving force is behind the actual project itself, because it's not just more stuff in their backyard. Next is emotional connection, as we mentioned, getting deeper with the customer, taking your time. It's not about volume when it comes to how many people can I see in a week. It's about slowing it down so your closing rate can go up by getting deeper with these customers. When they can feel you, everything changes. Trust me on that one. So what normally happens here is that it's not that your customers are broke. That's a great thing I see around Facebook land all the time. I see like, oh, customers don't got any money. They're asking for so much more stuff than they've got budget for. And that might be true. But ultimately, when a customer feels value, they may phase a project over time. They decide to change scope because they really want to work with you and they have a certain budget. We can't give up on them. We got to understand that they're not broke. They're buying stuff. They're just not buying stuff from you. Yeah, that might hurt. They're buying stuff. They're just probably not buying stuff from you. That RV in their parking lot, the driveway right next to their house that they spent how much money on, they're buyers. But they need to see and feel that you're the right solution and that you're the right guide for them. That takes you slowing down and getting deeper and actually caring about what they truly need, want, and desire. Next, at the end of the day, they're looking for certainty. We're building projects in an uncertain world, and a customer wants certainty. The contractor, the designer, the professional that can provide them as much certainty moving forward is the one often, if not most of the time, that gets the project. It's certainty. So what are you doing to make sure that your customer feels certain that you are the right fit for them? And the way you do that is by listening, by asking great questions, and by being quiet when you ask those questions. Very, very important. So guys, it's not always the lead. Some leads are crap. I get that. But for the most part, people are buying out there. They're buying stuff. They're just not buying it from you. If any of this stuff resonated with you today and you're like, man, I really need to shift that, or I could do a little bit better. You know what? I could use a little polish on those things. That's great. This is awareness. It's time to go back to the old grinding board, if you will, and start working on those things, figuring out how you can make that better. We're going to give you some options and opportunities here in the future as you move through this program, but digging deeper, saying, you know what, maybe just today I could work just a little bit to grow, just a little bit, right? Can I? Constant, never-ending improvement. How can I take what I've learned today, implement just a little bit of it, and be able to watch some of the changes as they happen?
What if you could close 75% of your projects without chasing, convincing, or dropping your price? That's not a dream, that's the mission. Mission 75. Here at Yes Express Sales Academy, we are spearheading a bold shift to help outdoor living contractors sell with confidence, not desperation. Because let's be real, you've been told to just give them a good price and hope for the best. You've been trained to beg for work and give away your time and compete with contractors who don't even play at your level. That ends now. I wrote the Core 10 Sales Playbook because it's the system I desperately needed 20 years ago. It's built for real-world, design-build contractors, not guys in suits. Inside, I'll show you how to qualify leads in minutes, speak to emotion, not features, cut confusion and eliminate ghosting, lead the sales call with calm authority, and close premium jobs without flinching. That book drops in January 2026. Check out the show notes to get on the list to be the first in line to grab your copy of the Core 10 Sales Playbook before they're gone. This isn't about working harder, it's about selling smarter, and it starts now. Let's raise the standard together.